Good morning, students. How are you today? I hope you all of you are fine and staying at home. All of you know very well that we have completed two chapters in previous syllabus. Right now we are going to start our next topic, that is chapter 3, public, private and global enterprises, right? Okay. So in this chapter, first of all we have to clear private sector, right? So what do you understand by private sector? Simply in words, I will state that any business which have private ownership, that is called private sector. In this sector, why these sectors are called private? Because these are owned by private individuals. There is no interference of any government, that may be state, center, from point of view ownership, right? And so we can say that private enterprises are those private sectors are those sectors of business which are owned by private individuals or groups. And the main enterprises which are very famous business families of the private sector are like Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group, Reliance Group, Aditya Birla Group, Ratan Tata Group. So these are the private sector examples. So now come to the features of private sector, right? Generally these are the privately owned, so the motive of these business is only profit motive. But these days social responsibility is also coming into existence. Every businessman has to follow that, but main priority is given to profit, right? And second is private ownership. We have already stated it in definition that it is privately owned by individual, not by any government like state or center. And third is profit as evidence of success. In case of private sector, it can be taken as a measurement that if profit degree is very high, then business will be presumed to be a successful business, right? And next point is private management. They are managed by their owners, and in case of the company, the board of directors, like nominated by the shareholders, take care of the business. So this means these private sectors are managed by the private individuals, not by any government, right? And that is the fifth point, less political interventions. This means there is no political interference in this sector, as that is completely privately owned. There is no ownership share of government sector or public sector. So there is no interference in this sector. So students, our next topic is forms of private enterprises. प्राइवेट एंटरप्राइजेस फॉर्म्स में आप ऑलरेडी जो बिजनेस फॉर्म्स में आप पढ़ चुके हो, इन विच देर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ लाइक दैट मे बी वी कैन से दैट रजिस्ट्रेशन and which are owned by private individuals, and we also say that only government share is not there. They are called private enterprises, right? So first of all, sole proprietor. Generally we can divide the private enterprises into two parts, right? Incorporated and non-incorporated. And business which registered according to law, they are called incorporated. And which are non-incorporated. This means they are not compulsory to be registered like sole proprietor and partnership. There is no need to get their registration, right? So like a joint venture, yeah, these are not to be compulsory to be registered under any act. So first of all, we are talking about sole proprietor, which is not incorporated, in which only single person is the owner of the business. He invests all capital, manage the business, and he is the solely responsible for all activities, right? And the sole proprietor is the oldest and the simplest form of the business organization. No documentation requirement is there. That is your sole proprietor, right? And second is joint into family business. When a business enterprise is run by people belonging to the same family, and they run the business as a family business, and head of the family is called he is the only single manager of the business, and he takes the all major decisions, and his liability is unlimited, but the liabilities of the members is limited, and all members have equal share in the family property. As far as the liability concerned, we have already discussed that Karta is the unlimited liability is having, and other members is having limited liability. And this type of business is only run in India, and we like by its name is that Hindu family, right? Joint Hindu family business is governed by the Hindu law, so it is only existing in India, right? And third part is partnership, in which two or more than two person willingly join business, which is lawful for the earning of profit. Minimum 2 and maximum 50 persons may be there, and the partnership business can be registered if owners want to get it registered. It is not compulsory by law, and if they want to get registered, that is under Partnership Act 1932, right? And joint venture, under this form of business organization, two or more than two people jointly run some particular business temporarily, and all the co-venturers divides the profit loss according to the predetermined ratio. So in joint venture, as the project completed or work completed, they separate automatically, and this means their partnership ends there, and consequently the liability of the parts of the joint venture also ends. So this business is generally established for the consignment of goods, like for the underwriting of shares or debentures, construction of building, bridge, dam. So these are the examples of joint venture. And now next is joint stock company. You have already studied the forms of organization, the company organization, in which more capital is required and the business is comparatively risky. This business organization came into the category of incorporated business. Business is registered under Company Act 2013, and whose existence is different from its members. It has its own stamp or common seal, and the liability of the member is limited to its number of shares purchased by them. And the joint stock company may be of two types: private company and public company. And we have already studied the concept private and public company in the previous chapter, right? And next is cooperative enterprises. We can understand with the name that cooperative. This means these organizations are formed for the mutual cooperation of the members, and the purpose of these societies to serve the members, to help the members. Generally, these societies are formed by some section of society which are financially weak and mutually wants to help themselves. They collectively contribute there, and for the mutual cooperation. They provide the goods and services to its members at the reasonable prices, and these societies are also registered under Cooperative Society Act 1912. So these days there are so many types of cooperative societies: consumer cooperative society, producer cooperative society, marketing cooperative society, etc. So these society purchase the bulk in directly from the wholesale trader or producer and provide its members to its cheap. They help to eliminate the middlemen which earn money in between. So in this way, this society help their members. So these are the forms of. So now students, we are going to discuss our next topic, that is public sector, right? It means those enterprises which are established or managed by government, and ownership is also with government, that may be state or center. These are government and ownership is also with government, that may be state or center. These are entirely may be owned or partially owned by the government, but maximum ownership lie with it. So public or public sector means that sector which are in interest of the public, and which are controlled or run by the government. And till the 19th century we can say that the private sector ruled the roost, but industrial development with the event of the 20th century to the focus the disadvantage of the business organization in the private sector. Generally we can say that the private sector may more focus on the profit earning. So there is a need that there should be a sector which does not only focus on the profit earning but also on the public interest. So there is a requirement for the paramount or ownership of the government or interference of the government, so that the people may be free from the private exploitation, and ensuring the complete development of the country. There is public sector. So public sector or public enterprises means those enterprises which are established by the government and whose ownership or management are also in the hands of the government, and it may be state government, public enterprises, public sector undertakings, and government undertakings, and their aim is to provide goods and services at the reasonable price to the public. But this does not mean that it does not focus on the earning profit. The reality is that these enterprises are established with the purpose of earning reasonable profit while serving society, right? This is the main part. Like with the serving society, they provide the goods and the service at reasonable prices, but they side by side earn profit also, but that profit is a reasonable profit. It is important to clarify the government concern are not government hospital, government colleges are not government enterprises. For example, we can say that only those government concerns are called public enterprises which undertake economic or business activity, right? Because hospital and colleges are supposed to provide service to public, not business activity. So those are not government enterprises, right? And the simple example of government enterprises are the nationalized bank in our cities. And if one looks at the signboard of any branch of these banks, like UCO Bank, you can say a government of India undertaking is written with the name, and this is an indication of the fact that public enterprises. The sample of UCO Bank and some other public sector undertakings having this symbol are given, like a government of India undertaking. So now students, we will do the features of the public enterprises. Public enterprises having features like state ownership. The ownership of the government is the either entirely with the central government, state government, or local government, or maybe jointly. There can be partnership of the private sector in the public enterprises, but the government must have the maximum share. This means 51% share capital will be owned by the. It is important to make it clear that state here means not the state government, but the government which include all the governments, right? And state control. Second important feature is that the management and the ownership of the public enterprises in the hand of the government. Some of the enterprises are established by the government under its own departments. For example, there is the Postage and Telegraph Department, and similarly some enterprises are left over in the care of some independent boards like Bakhda Nangal Control Board, Hirakund Control Board, but the final control rests with the government, right? And third one is financial freedom. Almost all the financial needs of the public enterprises are done by government. However, they have been permitted to fulfill their financial needs by obtaining capital from the public by issuing number of shares. Therefore, the government enterprises mostly get loan and capital from the public to satisfy their financial needs, right? And next is service motive. The chief purpose of the establishment of the government enterprises is to provide service to the society. A private enterprise, its main purpose is to earn more profit, but in case of public enterprises, the service purpose is given priority, right? And public accountability. Private enterprises are even accountable for the public, but only few individuals are owners, especially so they focus on more profit. So public enterprises, it is the accountability of the government that the services are properly given to, equally given to society, and elected representative are criticize their success or failure in the parliament or in the state of assemblies in case if there is any problem, right? So in that case, this means we have to answer to the public if there is any problem or misunderstanding, right? And bureaucracy in management means in public enterprises the work is very slow, like you know that in government organization administrator officer works very in a lazy way. They follow some rules and regulations, even from one table to second table and going to the last table it takes long time. All decisions are taken very slow, and in these enterprises even smallest decisions are taken after a long process. So that is why the unnecessary delay have to face activities. That is the main negative point in the public enterprises. And next is harmonious industrial relation. In public enterprises, the relations of the businessman, that is comparatively healthy relations or liberal relation compared to private enterprises. In case of private enterprises, there is a cutthroat competition because they focus on more profit compared to quality service. So they adopt the policies which are beneficial for the employees, consumer, and ultimately to the society. That is because of the public enterprises or public sector, and useful for all sector. Public enterprises do not serve any particular section of society. The public enterprises कोई particular section of society के लिए नहीं बनाया जाता. For example, the post and telegraph department serve to the all part of society, not a particular section of society. And monopoly in few sectors. The public sector have a monopoly. Monopoly means there is a single provider for some products, and monopoly means for some particular industry can be established by only government, not by private sector. Like we can say that railway department in our country has a monopoly, because there is no in India only the railway is controlled by the government, right? Post and telegraph service is also controlled. It is important from the point of view social service, because these services do not yield much profit, right? So they are not providing much profit, but they are of social requirement and social service, so they are of public interest. They are established by the government. In 2001, 3 industries were reserved exclusively for public sector, like atomic energy, arms and rail transport, and remaining all the business are now don't have any reservation to run or owned by private or public sector. Only 3 industries are now reserved for the public sector, right? So students, these are the features of public sector, public enterprises, right? And so today topic sufficient now. After that we will discuss in the next topic the forms of public enterprises.